What's up, everybody? It's Harry Soto from Tech and Soul, and tonight we have Ralphie D in the place to be.
In the place.
Ralphie D is a get my other phone out of my pocket. Ralphie D is a good friend of mine, and he is also a very well-known DJ and producer. He's done many things, including kicking off the disco era, right? In 2001.
Yeah, it was a young
It was like when John Travolta was starting out.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm gonna let him talk. So, welcome, Ralphie.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. So tell me, give me a little history. Let everybody know what's going on.
You want the condensed version of like the beginning of it?
Condensed, because you're gonna be DJing.
We'll condense it. Okay. I started getting into music when I was like a kid. I always wanted to be like a rock band. I wanted to be like a drummer, and then I got introduced to disco music from friends of mine had older brothers. They used to drive around in nice cars in the mid-'70s, and on Sundays we used to take their cars and wash them, and we'd like go around the block. It was like a cool thing. And I remember there was tapes in the cars, 8-tracks, and there was all this music on it. It was this R&B stuff. And at first I was like, I heard some Barry White things that I knew, Harold Melvin, like that. But then there was this other stuff that was really, it was kind of like background music at first, but then when I really listened to it, I was like, this is really cool. But the thing that got me was, it was sequenced. I never heard music sequenced before. One song led into another. And there's the time there was no headphones and stuff. Long story short, I started getting into it, and they used to sell these tapes at some of the hair cutting establishments. Hair salons are really big. And I ended up buying 2 direct drive turntables, and I went and started buying little 45s, and I started making these.
Direct drive already?
No, I'm belt drive. I'm sorry,
okay.
BSR turntables.
Yeah, because that's what I
think they were like
BSR.
$49 a piece or something. And I started making tapes for the guys in the neighborhood, my older brother's friends, the guys who had those tapes in the cars. And then one weekend, during the week, my brother's friend says, Ralphie, I want you to DJ at this place we hang out in. Come Friday night, bring your records with you. So I went to this little bar called the Drift Inn, Collion Avenue in Brooklyn. There was 2, I think it was 1800s and 1500s, a clubman one. Nice. And I started to play. I was like, wow, this is great. I think they gave me like $25 a night or something. And then the rest was, that was like I was a junior in high school. And that summer of 70s, no, it's the year after, summer of 77, my cousin got married. I was in the bridal party, and we ended up going to 2001 Odyssey, which there was no Saturday Night Fever, there was no nothing, it was just a regular club at the time. And I walked to this place, and I was like, wow, I get inside of this place. Really nice. And I'm standing there having a drink, I look at the bar, and I see it's a friend of mine I went to high school with. I was like, what the hell are you doing? He made me come up, and now I'm in a booth at this club, and he's telling me I'm a DJ. And I was like, wow, I was really, really intrigued by it.
Right.
And then,
so the floor was done already?
No floor, no nothing. It was just tin. Just a tin.
Oh,
regular,
really?
Yeah, there was no floor. Wow. And what ended up happening, long story short, I ended up getting the job there. And I hit it off with the owner's son, who was the real DJ. This guy was a backup DJ. And long story short, I was there for about 5-6 months, and they were saying, no, they're going to film a movie here. And what's the name of this movie? It's called Saturday Night. Okay, who's in it? John Travolta. I'm like, who? How's John Travolta? I didn't know.
Vinnie Barbarino?
But that was the whole thing. I was
Barbarino.
outside. I was out already. I was on the weekends.
Right.
I didn't watch TV, but my little brother had a lunchbox that said the Sweat Hogs to put it all together and figured it out. So they were filming one day. I went down there to see this, and I didn't even know that they added the floor for the movie. And there was so much movie equipment, I didn't even notice it the first night I was there. I watched them film a couple of scenes. Right. And then when I think the last night that I came, they were filming a scene where he was on the dance floor and running out this place to shithole. And I saw this floor. I was like, what the hell is this? Wow. And I was like, well, you don't watch, you can't touch it, and all that bullshit. But anyway, nobody knew what that was going to be. Nobody had any idea. And it just...
And they kept the floor the way it is?
Kept the floor the way it was. The movie blew up, and then from there I went to, I got a slot on KTU in late '79. I did what was called Studio 92. Yeah. I did 6, I think 8 weekends of that, and it was good. But if I look back at it now, I could have been a little bit smarter.
Right.
But at that time, 17, you
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know,
just
whatever,
working, yeah,
my
you work
girl,
around,
just
yeah,
what,
yeah.
my only worry was what kind of shirt I was going to wear, you know, what girl I was going to see, and all that stuff. And then came the disco backlash, and disco was a dirty word for a while, so what happened was then I picked up and moved on, and I started working at clubs in Staten Island, little clubs, 82, 83, 80, from 80 to 82, and then 83 I got to work in the city at this place called the Rooftop.
Right.
And mostly through the 80s, it was all regular clubs, just playing in clubs. And then I got another break. I played at one of the biggest clubs in Brooklyn, Pastels, which was the shit. It was,
Right.
and it was probably like the high point. And then my father passed away, and things got like really, really bad. I was really down low, really low.
Right.
But at this time, Lenny D, Frankie Bones, Tommy Musto, they were just getting discovered in England.
Right.
They were doing records for Fourth Floor and for New Groove and all that stuff, and I was always hanging out with them. So I did my first like sample tracks, and it was put out on New Groove, and they were like, "You got to come to freaking England." I did vocals on a song. What they called "Ease the Pressure." I just spoke it. It was like "Ease the Pressure." And like the people, they were telling me the people ended up knowing stuff that I had done, and once they thought they were a DJ, you know, this is the beginning of Summer Love, everything was great, it was all brand new. And I hopped on a plane, one thing on it, and it changed my entire life. What I saw, it was just everything was new. The rave scene, the clubs, the music, the type of the DJs, everything. And they were so really cordial, and they embraced me to a point where I couldn't believe, like, records that nobody knew here, that were made here, with nothing, and they were on a record mirror charts, like 25, and I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that's what happens.
And from there, I went back and forth, and I started, you know, getting these ideas about producing music, and I did a couple of other tracks, and then I had like 3 or 4 hits that came out really, really big, and from those records, I started getting booked back and forth in Europe, and I ended up touring Europe for 10 years, from 1990 to 1999.
Wow.
And that was
amazing.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know now, because of this disco resurgence. I'm doing a lot of reunion parties, and tonight, you know, it's a kind of breath of fresh air for me to show my kind of like underground side, which is pretty cool.
Definitely. I want to hear that.
Yes,
we all want to hear that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
So tell me more about like I know you were really involved in the techno scene.
Yes.
So can you elaborate just a little bit on that?
What had happened was, when I had gone to England the first time, the music, there was the biggest music, underground music in England was called jungle.
Right.
And it's actually what's now called breakbeat.
Right.
And while the jungle was happening in England, in Belgium and in like Germany and stuff, it was Belgium techno. And what it was basically 4 on the floor, a lot of synthesized dark analog sounds.
Right.
So I ended up going to the studio with Lenny, and we took jungle breakbeats and the analog sounds of Belgium and combined it and made this EP called English Muffin, which blew up, and it started this whole what was started called as the hardcore scene, hardcore techno. But it was like 150, 160 beats a minute.
Right.
But what had happened later on, guys took over after us, and it became like 200, and it's flying.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it was flying. But the techno thing was, I had a nice career doing techno for a while, and you know, guys like Joey Beltram, who was still doing it. Still gets booked over there. Jeff Mills, there's tons of guys, and I noticed that DJs that started doing this, the pioneer guys, the Carl Coxes, the David Moraleses, Frankie Knuckles, rest in peace, all those guys, they don't lose their spots. They will play.
Still on. They'll play,
they keep going. Yeah. So, but the techno thing here was a little snapshot of a time where I produced and played.
Big time.
Yeah.
I remember we belonged in the same record pool
yes,
for the record.
Yes, yeah.
And I used to see him rarely, but when he used to come, I heard all the stories. You know, I used to hear all the stories where he was in
Germany,
England, in Germany,
5,000 people.
all these places.
It was great. Man.
It was great. So tell me what you're gonna do. Is there any future, anything that you want to do in the future?
Well, okay, you know what? That's kind of a good question. It's very hard for me to say. I happen to be very lucky. I feel I was blessed to do what I did at the time that I did it.
Right.
When I was there, it was all new. I got to the disco thing. Even though disco was happening since like the early 70s, by the time like the Odyssey, the 2001 thing, it was still, I was the person that was there bringing it to the world, where before that it was
right,
underground.
you were crossing it over.
Right, so it was new.
Right.
The same thing, all the stuff, like you can even relate to it.
Right.
When New Wave first came out, we were there playing that, it was new.
Right.
Then came all the R&B stuff, and then all the what we call like the Arthur Baker stuff, and which I call, which became freestyle, Latin freestyle.
Right.
Then it became house, then it became techno. So it was all new then. Now,
Right.
there's not. It doesn't seem there's nothing. Everything is regurgitated from something else.
Right.
But if you really listen, and you know, like you would also hear, there's certain things that you hear. There's a lot of tracks, garbage.
Right. Yeah. You just don't
You hear
have
certain things that the tracks have something in it. So basically, as far as what I want to do, I think I kind of did everything that I could do. It's a very distinct possibility, with the 40-year anniversary of Saturday Night Fever this year. Next year in Europe is the 40-year anniversary. And they're looking to set up a tour.
Right.
We're going to take the dance floor from 2000.
Oh, really? Yeah. I read an article about that.
Yes, and we're going to
Actually,
take
I read it on LinkedIn, believe it or not.
Yes. And we're going to take that.
They were auctioning. He was going to auction, but then he said no.
Yeah, what happened is that there's $1 million reserve.
Right.
And he did it because he got kind of like tied into doing it, and he didn't really want to get rid of it, and then he wanted to, and then he didn't want it. But anyway, actually I have to see him on the 20th, and the auction is the 29th. The reserve is $1 million, and if he gets $1 million, I mean, he paid like $5,000 for the floor, so he can get $1 million, great. But if he still has it,
that's a piece of history, it's priceless, man.
And if he still has it, what we're going to do is we're going to do what's called the pop-up 2001 Odyssey and tour all over Europe, turning whatever venue we go to into a 2001 Odyssey. If anybody who's old enough to see Saturday Night Fever, the floor, great, but the walls were tinfoil, so they're gonna, it's very easy to make a room out of it, and there's certain lights you put in there, and that'll be great. And I also was told that worst case scenario, if they do sell the floor, there are 4 replicas that were made that are exactly the same. So that would be something that I would like to do, to go back, because I always hated traveling. I did what I did at the time.
Yeah, but you could do it. It's
like
riding a bike.
The money, no, it's not about what I know or what to do. It's just going back and doing it again. I figure, listen, most people that are my age are home like this.
Hey, speak for yourself, man.
No. Well, excuse me. Most people our age, right, are home watching Dancing with the Stars. They're sitting down, whatever. Shut up, We're not like
5,000 kids.
I'm a regurgitated kid. It's the same thing, So it's the music that keeps us going.
Yeah.
So if I could get a chance to go back again to do that, twice in a lifetime, we'll have to do it once.
Relive it, man. Relive it.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're gonna hear Ralphie D. He's gonna play his underground house music. He's gonna do a couple of sets. So stay tuned. We're going to be on Facebook Live and also on Tech and Soul Radio. You can look it up on the Tech and Soul page, TEQANDSOL.com, or go to TuneIn and go check out Tech and Soul. All right? Thank you very much. And I appreciate... Can you press the finish button? I appreciate you guys checking us out. Thank you.